Shantaram. It's one of my favorite books, and I first brought it right here behind me on the streets of Mumbai. It's the story of an Australian fugitive who becomes a smuggler, a gun runner, and a counterfeiter here on the streets of Mumbai. And today I'm going to take you around all the real locations from the book. And I'm doing this because unfortunately the Apple TV series wasn't filmed in India because of the COVID-19 pandemic. It was actually shot in Thailand and Australia, and if you've read the book, you're going to notice that the location names in the TV show have been changed. The locations in the book are actually real places where the author Gregory David Roberts spent time, and that's what you're going to see here in this video. So let's start at the very first place that Lin stayed on the first day that he arrived in Mumbai, the India Guest House. Today it's been renamed Hotel Colaba Grand, but there's certainly nothing grand about it. This is what the hotel used to look like before the renovations, and this is the type of room that Lin would have stayed in. But there is one good thing about this hotel, the location. It's just off the Colaba Causeway, which is the area's main road, and this is where Karla saved Lin from being hit by a bus, and basically where their relationship begins. This is that street. This area is called Colaba. It's in South Mumbai, and it's extremely important to the story because this is where most of Shantaram takes place. On the same road, we have the infamous Leopold's Cafe, which has been renamed Reynaldo's Cafe in the TV show. Back in Lin's day, this area of Mumbai was a hotbed of mafia activity, and Leopold's was a famous den for illegal businesses. They were doing things like trafficking drugs, currencies, passports, gold, and women. That was back in the 80s, and you can see this restaurant has still kept some of that charm. Then fast forward to 2008, Leopold's was a target in the Mumbai terror attacks, the bullet marks of which are still present at the cafe today. These days, it's just an overrated tourist restaurant. If you want some authentic Irani food, like Lin talks about in the book, go to Britannia and Company in the Fort area for a classic Parsi cafe experience. There you'll get to feel what Mumbai was like back in Lin's day, back in the 80s. Across the road from Leopold's is the Colaba police station where Lin was first detained. This was before he went for his brutal stint in captivity in the nearby Arthur Road prison. I'll never forget those chapters of the book where he describes what it's like to be in an Indian jail. It was not pleasant, and I'm sure it still isn't. If you haven't read the book, do. It's a real page turner, and this is coming from someone who barely reads, okay? So far the TV show has done a good job at adapting it, I think, but you still lose a lot of substance as it's a very personal story filled with a lot of musings, and those musings will make you stop and think about them. And then you'll reread it again and you'll be like, oh, that's what he meant. That type of engagement with the reader, that's really hard to translate into a TV show. So yeah, check out the book. The entire Colaba area of Mumbai, this is like the most popular tourist trail in the city basically. You've got the Gateway of India and the Taj Hotel, and these are just behind Leopold's Cafe. And Karla and Lin's first walk together was along this sea wall from the famous Gateway of India to the Radio Club Hotel, and right next door to the Radio Club Hotel was his hotel. Now onto Sassoon Dock, and Lin used to come here to eat in the book, but this dock was also once a hub for smuggling, but that all ended in 2008 because the terrorists entered Mumbai through this very port. Now this is probably the most important location in the entire book and TV show. This is the slum where Lin lived and started his clinic. But his house and clinic isn't there anymore. It's been built over. In the TV show, they show these places as kind of shacks, but now you can see people have built more permanent concrete structures here now.
So this is where my clinic used to be. Sorry, this house was very small, and this very, very small Chotagar little house was here. And I used to come and look out at these towers that were being built. If you look behind there, if you come over here, you can see the twin towers, these tall buildings. Yes. And at that time, all the houses were very small, and you could stand up and look above all of them.
This is Haji Ali, and it's a very recognizable landmark in Mumbai. And nearby is a large yogurt drink store, and this is where Lin used to come to drink lassi at night and hang out. But guys, as you can tell from this voiceover, I'm not a very poetic guy. I'm very straightforward to the point. So let's hear from the author, Gregory David Roberts. Let's hear what he says about Haji Ali.
Birds of fire in the approaching sunset wheeled and turned as one in their flocks, like banners of waving silk. From a low-walled courtyard on the white marble island of Haji Ali Mosque, I watched pilgrims and pious local residents wend and weave, leaving the shrine for the shore along the flat stone path.
So what does the Haji Ali shrine mean to you?
Well, it's a place of peace, a place of solitude, a place where people from all over the city make their journey to try to find some sense of forgiveness for the things they've done in the past. But it also happened to be a place where gangsters in Bombay, if they knew that they were going to make a confrontation with another gang, a confrontation, a war that might end in them losing their lives, we would go there, we would wash first and bathe, we would then make this journey across to Haji Ali, to the saint. We would ask that we be prepared for what may come, and then we walk back along that path and think only about the future and have cut the tie with the past.
In front of us, this is the Air India building. This is where Lin romanced Karla on the rooftop. Or did they? Gregory David Roberts, he said that all the characters were fictional, but they were based on types of people that he knew. And he goes further to say that many experiences in the story are real, but others are informed on his experiences. And I'll link to a video on his YouTube channel where he explains just how real or not the Shantaram novel is. Now, please tell me, what did you think about the Apple TV show adaptation? Did you like it or the book better? And please come to India and visit these places for yourself one day. I've linked to the exact locations in a blog post in the description.